who claims, and the novelty here is that a shamer who received the animal legally, yet somehow or another can sometimes be treated as a galif, as if he stole it, and therefore he has to pay double. And that's talking about a case where he made a vow that it was stolen by somebody, a third party. Turned out to be that he himself was a stealer, and then we gave a number of laws sort of to limit that. So now we're up to the Kuf Ches Amud Aleph, and we're up to Boy Ravina. About 20 lines on top of the page. The last line is Chaimish. What happens? Boy Ravina asks the following question. And that's really now a number of different questions that are being asked. We're trying to tease out the final halachas. Boy Ravina asked the question. Chaimish v'kveila betray gabra. We just said that you cannot pay. In other words, if you Adam found out that you came in and said you're a liar, the animals in the barn at the time, he pays double. So even though he admitted afterwards that he swore false, you don't pay the chaimish. You don't pay two payments, for the same incident. But what happens if the chaimish was for one person and the kafel was for another person? Now, what's the story here? What's the story? What's the case? One incident, but there were two people you asked them to mind it for you. The Tarnu boy Tainas Ganav. And then you claimed, they both claimed that it was stolen. Chad, one of them, Nishba swore, then he admitted. So therefore, the din should be, he should pay the penalty. But the Chad, the other guy, on the same instant, Nishba swore, Uvo Adim, and he came and said, hey, you guys are going to have him. How do we treat this? It's one incident with two people. Do we say, Bechad Gabra, one person copied Rachmana, by one person we say the Loin Mishal Chem Shabakel. We just said before that the kafel, we concluded in yesterday's Gemara, that the kafel money includes also the money for the chaimish. But over here, the person who's paying kafel is not the same person who's paying the chaimish. The person who was caught out by Edim is going to be paying double for his half. And the other person was not caught out by the Edim, because he was made the first. It doesn't matter, Edim came afterwards, because we passed him like the Gemara is following the opinion that says if you're made on the penalty and afterwards Edim came along, you're potter. So he was his maider. So you don't pay kafel, but should he pay the penalty of because the same count? Hi nisham kfela, hi nisham chaimish. Maybe the two separate things. Each one pays their own payment. Because we're talking about the same animal, the same incident, you cannot have one animal. You should be paying kafel and chaimish. So therefore, it's question, do we look at the people or do we look at the animal? If you look at the animal, it's one incident, and therefore you cannot have kafel and penalty. If you look at the people, it's two separate incidents. One guy was murdered, and the other guy was caught up later by Adam. Boy, the Papa had a question now as follows. Today, kfeil b'chad gavra, is it possible for one person to pay twice chaimish, twice the penalty, or twice the kafel? What's the case here? On the same animal. What's the case? Hey, Chidami, what's the incident over here? What are you asking about? The guy, for example, Shaton Tainus of it. First, he claimed that it was lost, then Nishba, and he swore false. Then Vahida, and he was made. Adam haven't come along, he was made, so L'chayda, he should not pay a penalty. The Chazar V'Taran Tainus of it, and then later he says again, it got lost. The Nishba swore again, Vahida was made, and was made. That's one, or that's a scenario of Haidah twice on the same animal. Inami, or, and L'chayda is talking about, Trace has a problem. Once he swore once, we said before, once you swear once about an animal, the Bezdin doesn't demand the second shur from you. Because the moment you swore, you already became a ganef then, so you're already responsible for everything. Unless Trace says maybe that he said it got lost after that event. In other words, that happened on a Monday, and then he swore that it was lost on a Monday. He came in and he said, "Bob, I said, no, got lost." Then he came in and said, "Got lost on a Tuesday," so it's not the same event. But they say still don't understand. But he's already once he became a ganef on it, he's responsible for everything. Why would the Bezdin make a sure a second time? So Tejana says maybe the pshat in the whole Gemara here is that after this incident where he was made, the owner said to him, "You know what? I trust you. You're contrite. Take it again." So it's like a new shmira, and that's why if he comes in again and says got lost, the Bezdin would accept it. But then Teja says, then it's like two separate stories. It's not the question here is one incident. It's not one incident. What's the difference if he gave it to you, one after another or a year later? So Teja remains with the question. He doesn't understand his whole Gemara.
First time,
he swore that it was lost. Yeah, but he was Maida. The moment that he said it was lost and really he was a Ganef, and now we know that it happened because he is Maida, so he became a Ganef. But you don't pay kafel. On that kind of Gneva, you don't pay kafel. But what do you do? From now on, you're responsible for anything that happens to an animal. If an accident happens because you tried to steal it. So basically, you became a Ganef. So why would Bezin give you a second Shavua? There's no point in it. Because even if you're caught out, whatever it is, you're not going to pay kafel. So what was the point? What do you not mean? He swore that it was he said that it was stolen. He swore, well, agent came along and said no, it was stolen. He paid kafel. Then because of times Ganef, then he came in another day and he said again it was stolen. Cases doesn't stand the same thing. What's going on here? Why would they accept the second shua? But when he swore, bo agent my me, I mean, do we say today? Gav them a minor kamerachmana. We don't have two different kinds of money. We don't want a kafel and we don't want a chemish on the same instant. You can't have a kafel on the chemish because the kafel subsumes the chemish. That's what we said before. But here's different. Here it's kafel twice. Maybe the Torah doesn't want a kafel and a chemish on the same animal, but a kafel and a kafel maybe you do, or a chemish and a chemish you do. Two payments. I don't care if it's the same. I don't care the different. You can't have two payments on one incident. Even though it's capable, the two double. So you can't have it. That's his question. Toshma coming here. Robert said, it says in the pasuk over there that he swears and he has to pay, and he has to pay back the principal and the penalty. So it says in the pasuk, in plural. Why? There's only 1/5. The Torah said that it's possible. He keeps on denying it. That he then denies that I owe a fifth, and then he's made it that he swore that he doesn't know. Then he's made it that he lied, and then he denies that new fifth, and so on and so forth. You can have till you get to the less than the proof. Shema Amina is a good proof. Says he can go further. Says he wants to know why you don't mean the Mishnah. The Mishnah says already. Why think from Rafa? Anyway, taking about further. What happens the following? Now, these are mamish cases we can learn hamafkid in Bava Metzia. Moshe Feinstein, if I heard me on this, I'll tell you about it when we get to hamafkid. So Rava said, sorry. So what happened? This is the case. The owner said to the Shema, "Where's my animal?" And he swore. He was a Shema chinim. He swore that it was stolen. He said the truth. But he elected then, he had a choice. He could have just paid out. The din is if he pays out, the shomer, he now owns the cow. So if they ever find the ganef and the ganef has to pay the penalty, it goes to the shomer. Or he can make a shua and he's out of the picture. And if they found the ganef, it's the owner who gets the penalty. This guy did both. He swore and he decided, you know what, I'll do the right thing. I'll give him the money. I feel a little responsible. So the question is, what happens there? On the one hand, he swore, so therefore, he forfeits his rights so that if they find the ganef to the kefil. On the other hand, he paid out. Well, he didn't have to. So what do we focus on? Machlek is a baybra. We haven't had a machlek baybra for a while, so here they come back. No. Yeah. Why would he swear once he paid?
Maybe he swore. Then he's like, you know what?
That's the thing. What happened? He swore. What's the other way around? If he paid up, would you swear? But when you allow him to swear, what are you swearing about? You paid up already. So Tavua Ba'ilin L'Shemer, remember it's a Bezin. Bezin listens to what happened and they don't make a shul unless it's necessary. Tavua Ba'ilin L'Shemer, the Ba'ilin says, where's the Benish? But he swore, then Bishilman decided to pay. Well, who could have gotten it? They caught the Ganav, paid for the meat. Who ends up with the penalty? Abayi says, L'Bala Pekadon. Well, now that he paid, he's out of the picture, he goes to the owner of the Pekadon. Rava says, L'Misha Pekadon Hayatzloi. Who held the Pekadon the Shemer? It's the Shemer who gets it because why? Because he paid. The moment, since the fact is he swore and he caused the balabas a headache because where do you swear? Only from a bezin. So the balabas had to take off work. You have to go shlep muchas and go to a bezin. So therefore, you don't anymore get the benefits. You're a nice guy afterwards, very nice, but you're not going to get the benefits because you mucha the balabas, and therefore the benefit goes to the owner. And Robert says, that's like no, because he paid out, he didn't have to. He gets the benefits. Keeping the shulim, makna like favor. The owner happy to give him the kefil because he got paid out. He's very happy, and he's mindful of the fact that he had to go to court. The kamiflaki and they're arguing with the yukid mastis, and they're arguing the mission in a mafkid. If now we learned the mafkid, hamafkid eitzer chaveda. If somebody was mafkid by his friend behema, a kalin, Shimon, Reuben gave to Shimon an animal came to mind for him. When he was stolen, he got lost. Shilim alei ratzon l'shav. This is what Mishnah says. Shimon say, you know what? I'm exonerated, but I'm going to pay you out. I feel bad. He can go out. Nimtza Haganav. So what happened? They find the Ganav later. Mishalim Tashlum Kefil. He paid the Ganav will have to pay the Kefil, or if he shechted it, Tovach Hamacham Mishalim Zumach Hamish. If he shechted sold it, the Ganav will have to pay 4 times to who? Lemi Mishalim. Who did he pay to? Lemi Shapakot Netzler. From the few Mishnahs that are written in a way like he's teaching you, and he's leading to the question. So who gets paid? The Shema gets it. Why? Because he paid up, so now he takes over the rights. What about Nishba B'Leiratzon? He swore he didn't want to get paid. Nimtza Hagana. Then they find the Gana is then who gets the benefits. Obviously the owner. The owner gets it. Why should the Shema out of the picture? He swore he's out of the picture. Abaye focuses on the beginning of this Mishnah, and Rabbi Daik say he focuses on the end. Abaye in the beginning, he says Shilim if he paid. If he paid and he didn't want to swear, that's the only time we say what that he gets the rights. Sounds from the Mishnah, but if he did swear, he no longer gets the rights. He goes back to the owner, even though he paid. Time the whole kvetch is the he didn't want to swear. In other words, he avoid going to Bezin. I'll save you all the time and headaches, the aggravation. But if he swore, even though he paid the Mishnah the Bava who gets the money? The owner of the Bava, because of the aggravation that you caused. Rabba Daik Mesefer. Rabba, he infers from the end. It says there, but what happens if Nishba he swore if he swore he did and he said the kvetch is not that he swore. The kvetch is that he didn't want to pay. Time the didn't want to pay. Oh, Shilim, if he paid, even though he swore, but if he paid, who's he paid to? He pays to the one the guy that was caught. He pays to the Shomer because the Shomer paid out. No, well, Abaye catches Sefer. Abaye the Diga Sefer is a good steer. I'm not Abaye Hochta. This is how you read the Sefer. Nishba if he swore, the Loi Rotzul I don't want to pay Koydem Mashur. Even though he paid after the Shur, he no longer gets the benefits. He'll get back the principal, but he won't get the penalty. So we add the words before the Shavua. The Rabbi Kasha the Reisha seems to support Abaye that if he what do you call it? Yeah. If he made a Shavua, he forfeits all his rights. Shilim if he paid. But add the word Lamed. Not that he didn't want to swear, because that's what Abaye's whole kvetch is. But if he swore, he loses his rights. But he did swear. But he decided, you know what? I'm not going to stand on my laurels. I'm not going to stand on the halacha that says if you swear you're potter. I'm still going to pay you. Elashilim. The Mimisham is going to esla. And who do you pay? You pay to the Shemers, even though he swore. But since he paid, okay. Next case. What happens to
returning the actual object?
Yes.
Wouldn't make sense
not a Tovach, but let's say okay. In a regular case, he gives back. That for sure he gives back to the guy who paid. If he paid, there's no question. We're talking about who gets the case for the penalty, the benefit of that penalty. The shaman or the owner? Oh, for sure the guy paid.
It's an actual object.
Yeah, but the owner guy paid out. The Balbot got paid out.
You say that
it's over.
Really wants
it doesn't matter. The Torah says it doesn't matter what he wants. Once he got paid out, he's out of the picture. He's out of the picture. As far as the animals, so the argument here is who gets the penalty. That's the argument here. Where he swore and he paid. He caused about some aggravation. So what is the reason why the Balabas gives him the penalty? Is it because he paid or because he avoided all the aggravation?
I guess the actual object you would think he wants.
Yeah, he come up behind his market, but he got paid out. Yeah, he has to buy it back at the market value, whatever the market value, because he's out. Next question. What happens is okay, so Reuben was the mafkid, says to Shimon, where's my animal? The kofar. And Shimon says the animal is whatever, it's gone, stolen. The Heviu Adim. So Reuben brings Adim, no, that he has the animal. But what happened was me nifter haganif b'haydar shomer olay. What happens if then what do you call it? If this is what happened. Sorry, I'm sorry. Start again. Case. Tavua bailing a kofar that the owner wanted from Shimon to pay money. He said, "I don't have the animal anymore." And a third. Yeah, I skipped over a line. Tavua bailim l'shemen. This is what happens. Sorry, skipped a line. The one I couldn't figure out what's going on. Tavua bailim l'shemen. So the ruling goes to Shimon. Says Shimon, give me my animal back. The nishba, and he swore. And it turned out to be that there was a ganef out there. It was real. Well, who could haganef? And they caught the ganef. Okay. Tavu Shaimer. They recognize the ganef. No Adim came yet. They recognize the ganef. They caught the ganef, whatever it is. Tavu Shaimer. So the Shaimer, even though Shaimer is potter, he felt because he swore whatever that was stolen, but he felt it was Shaimer, but he felt responsible. So he came over to the guy and said, "Hey, you stole the animal." He demanded from him. But the ganef was murder. Now, when you're murder, you don't pay double. But who was he murder to? To the Shaimer. The question is the Shaimer still in the loop? And therefore, the Haidah to the Shema is considered a Haidah and he's exempt from paying the kafir. Or no, he has to go now back to the owner to be murdered. And the problem was, in the interim, Adim came along. Tavu Bailim, and the Bailim came along to this guy, the Kafar. They came over to the third party, got it, and he denied it. The Hebrew Adim, and he came and caught him out. So he was first murdered to the Shema, and to the Bailim, he was never murdered. He was caught by Adim. The question will be if this conceding to the shame is considered a confession. So we say this: Me nifter hagana b'doshem is the gana potter by admitting to the shame or not? Oila nifter hagana b'doshem. No, but it wasn't the intention. He was trying to help. Trying to help. I remember this is like an extra. This is not a. Omar Rabba. Now there's two ways of learning Pshat in the Gemara. In fact, when I learned the Gemara myself before I looked at Rashi, I thought the Pshat was the second way of Rashi, and Rashi completely rejects it. I'll tell you his first way. Tesis doesn't risk it so much out of hand. But this is how Rashi. Amar Rabba says, "Im be'emes nishba." If let's say the shomer, so therefore, if the shomer, when he said it was stolen, was telling the truth, is therefore. Even though the shame is out of the picture, but the shame is an honest person. And the balabas would be happy if they ever recover the share to give it back to the shame and say, hey, get the part of, keep on watching my thing. So he's still in the loop, even though he paid up. He's nifter hagana b'doisham. Then the ganav is exempt by being made to the shame because the shame is in the loop. He's not in the loop anymore, he paid up. But the balabas is happy to entrust the shame. This is an Rashi shot that he likes better. I thought the other way around. I thought that since he's saying the truth, he's out of the loop, then Haidah Shem would be worthless. It's only that if he lied and he's still responsible, then the Haidah Shem would be. But Rashi is the other way around. Rashi says that if he's telling the truth, and even though right now he's out of the loop because he paid up, but since, or he swore and he's patred, since the Balabas still trusts him, therefore, and if they ever recover, it's as if an unwritten agreement, they ever find the animal, he'll give back because he has the mind for a year after a month it was stolen. Oh, you're right. It's like a new case, but it has a shaykhs to it.
It's not related to this case.
Yeah. So why is he potter? A non-sadi, they would have found the animal. He'd be more than happy to the balabas to give it to him, and therefore the shamer feels a connection to this animal because he wants to continue being a shamer, helping me out. Therefore, he had a right. The guy didn't say to him, "Lab balavorim." He had a right to demand from the guy what's going on here. And the guy was made him. It's a good idea. However, but then he's pot. But if it turned out to be that this shamer was a liar, so the balabas will never trust this guy ever again. So therefore he's out of the loop completely. And since he's out of the loop, he had no right to demand it. On the end of what from this other guy, and Haidah to him means nothing. And non-sadi that the owner would never have entrusted him again with an animal to watch him. So therefore, when he came and demanded from the Ghana to pay up, his tviyah had no basis because he was no longer the balbos ended his role as a shaman. He swore that it was stolen. Turned out to be initially. Then later it was stolen from him. Then later it was stolen from him. Initially. Okay. So, for example, he kind of the animal died when the animal was still alive. Then later it was stolen from somebody. Yeah. So boy, Rabbi, it's a question. Let's say the guy was ready to swear false. They didn't let him. Ma, what's it then? Do we say because he was ready to swear false? The balabas, this is how Rashi proves that his child is right. I mean, the balabas is no longer going to trust him because he was ready, just because he didn't let him, I was whatever it is. I trust him, so therefore he had no say in the whole matter. So Rashi, if it's the other way around, that if he's that the way we thought, that if he swore truthfully, then he's no longer involved. But if he swore falsely, then he's still involved. Well, if he never swore in the first place, then surely he's still involved. Of course, what's the shaila? Surely he can demand from the guy that, hey, give it back. So that's what Rashi learned another way. Rav Kana Masna Hachi, Rav Kana this way. This version is Rav Kana's version. After you Masna Boy Rava's question was Nishba L'Shakim Mahu. Do we say interesting question? He swore false. Right? So he swore false. If you swore false, what's the story? It's it. But surely Rashi, I'm quoting Rashi now. One day he's gonna feel guilty. If he feels stealing the guy's animal. And therefore he's going to come forward and say, well, you know what, I really lied and everything else. He wasn't caught. But one day he's going to be murdered and he's going to pay up. Therefore, maybe if he demands from the Ganef, later the Ganef stole it, he said, give it back to me, because he knows he's going to feel guilty. Or he's already feeling pangs of guilt, taking this innocent man's cow. Interesting. Like we're definitely convinced that every person will do tshuva, or maybe not. Or that goof is the question. Can we make that assumption? Okay, cool. Okay, next case. The owner went to the Shema, Ruben went to Shema, pay up the Shilim, and he paid. And then they caught the Ganef. Here's the other way around. So now the din is the Shema is the one who's now involved. But Tavu Bailim, the owner felt bad. You know, the Shema payment didn't have to pay, and now the owner feels if I can find the cow, I want to give him back his money because he's not responsible. He's potter. So the owner went and he found the Ganef and Behoida. And he went to the and he was made to the owner, which means he doesn't have to pay kafel. Later on, the Shema found him. There was no Eidim. Tavu Shema, the coffee denied it, and then they have Eidim, and then he brought Eidim. So now the if he denied it and he was never made to the Shema, he was caught, he should pay kafel. The problem was he was already made to the balabas. The balabas still have a stake in this animal or not. Nifter Ganef does buy them alone. Is the balabas still involved or not? He was paid out and he's gone. Me, I mean, do we say much? Once you receive the money, you're out of the picture. Get away from here. Or maybe much. You can say, just like you were so nice and kind to me, you paid out when you didn't have to. And I also thought I'll do something nice to you. I'm going to go out there and search for the Ganef. Tarchina Basa Ganva. I want to go search and be matriach and bother myself to go find the Ganef. And I'll take back my animal. You give back your money. I'm doing it to help you out, just like you did to me.
Party did it.
Well, there's no question, but the Balbas still has connected in a way. Yeah, so he's connected. No, but this is directly because of this animal. And not that I'm going to take the animal back from me, and I'm going to give it back your cash. So it's more than just I'm a stranger here. Teku. Does he have a right to say that your Lifnim Shazadin caused me to also behave in a way of Lifnim Shazadin? So therefore, you put me back into the picture, or not? Teku. It's Teku. So I guess it's a question of how we view Lifnim Shazadin. Is it something that, that you can, it's an interesting question. Teku. Eliyahu is going to be very busy when it comes, I'll tell you that. Itmar, we learned what happens. It was stolen. Now, what is a case of stolen ba'onis? Only we had before already. If we pay to give list in Mizuyan, armed bandits came along, so then it's an oinus. What can you do? Now, even a Shem Masachar who's responsible for Gneva Aveda, but not if it's ba'onis, not if it were armed bandits came in. Now, what happened was, who could have gotten it? Caught the Ganef. In this case here, obviously, caught the Ganef, you can make him pay. Abai says, if this person is so obviously he's potted. If he wants, if he wants, he can go ahead and take the Ganef to court. Or if he wants, Nishba, he can swear to the owner and say, look, I'm potted, I'm potted, I'm out of the picture. But if he's the Shema Sachar, even though he's potted, it's his duty to take the Ganef to court and flush out of the Ganef everything. We don't give any more the option to swear and walk away, because even though you are potter, but the fact is it happened under your watch, so therefore it's your responsibility to take him to court, to Bezdin, and everything else. Okay, so when we say Oisim Adin means, Rashi adds, and others don't agree with Rashi. Rashi adds, so the Shema pays out to the Balabas. The Balabas is not out of the picture, and he takes over, and he'll get everything from the guy. Others say the Shema doesn't have to pay out the Balabas. We know the Ganef is, we know the Shema is innocent, but the Shema has to go through the machinations of a Bezdin and all that. So that's a Bai's opinion. Rava says no difference. Even a Shema Chinim. The fact is it happened under his watch, and now that we know who the Ganef is, the Shema Chinim has to go through the aggravation of taking the Bezdin. He takes the din and what do you call it? And he doesn't swear. Regarding Shem Chinim. Lema, let us say, Pliga the Ravuna, but let's say the Rav is arguing Ravuna because some Ravuna is Risa Baya. The Shol Ravuna about Ravuna Nikna Babaina, but stolen Baina, who can I got a record again of Im Shem Chinim or Im Shem Chinim, Rotza Oisa Imaydin. If he wants, he pays up the Balabas where Rashi learns. And then he takes the Ganef to Dintator, or Rotza, and he gets all the benefits, or Rotza, if he wants, Nijba. If he wants, he swears, he's potter, and he walk away. And the Balabas now has to take the Ganef to court. If the Shem Sacher, he takes him to court, but he doesn't swear. That's Abaye. So Abuna and Abaye saying the same thing. The difference whether you're Shem Mechim, how far your responsibilities go, or Shem Sacher. So Sacher is responsible. Amalach Rava says, Rava, my skin, we're talking about Shekodam Benishba. Rava says, we're talking about here, Kigoin Shekodam Benishba. Now what? That Rav Huna's case is talking about, he already swore. And that's why the Shem Chinim, and that's why Shem Chinim is to walk away, because he already swore and his party is out of the picture. But how can you say that? But it's saying clearly he has an option. If he wants Oisim Medin, he can go ahead and take the Ganef to Din Teda. Or Rotza Nishba, if he wants, he can proceed and swear. He didn't swear yet. What's the Rav? What's the Rav saying that Abu Huna is talking? He's amending Abu Huna is talking about the case where he already swore, and therefore the guy since he already swore, the Shemchir is already out of the loop because he already swore. He's potter, and what right do you have to take the gun if you're already out of the picture? So Gemara said, "No, Hachi Kama." This is how we read Abu Huna's words. Rotza Shemechinam. Either Shemechinam wants Oimid b'Shvuasai. The same thing we said on top of the page. Shvuah can mean Oimid. That wants he can remain with his shvuah. No, it's really Rava says that Abu Huna is talking about a case where the Shemechin already swore. But even after the shvuah, he has a choice. If he wants to, he can still go ahead. If the shvuah says Rotza Oisim Adin, when does the Shemechin have a choice? Only if he already swore. So he's already potter. But if he wants to help out, fine. But if he did not swear, then the halach is obligates him to take over the case and run with it against this Ganef. Now this is an interesting name, Rabba Zuti. What an oxymoron. Rabba means grand and Zuti means small. To put two together, I guess Rabba, the humble one. Exactly. It says that the word in the Gemara is Adrabba, on the contrary. So the Mefarshim try to work out what the source of it. And they say the source of it is the Rabba's name. Somebody like Rabba is so sharp. Somebody like Rabba should come up with such a slaughter. It's ludicrous. So here you have a Rabba Zuta. You can be a Rabba and a Zuta at the same time. He asked the following question. Let's say it was stolen. It's like on bandits, and then the Ganef returned it. He returned it to the house of the Shemer. He stole it from the Shemer, armed bandits. Then he felt guilty, whatever the Ganef. Brought it back to the Shemer. The Mesa, and it died with Pshia. No, once the guy stole it, you can say the Shemer is out. He's out of the picture. And therefore, if a normal person, if somebody puts an animal in place and leaves the door open, even though he shouldn't have done it, he's not chayiv because he's not a shemer. A shemer has a special din that a pshia is chayiv. Here he ended the shemitah once the Ganef took it, but the Ganef put it back, and now the shemer left the gates open. Do we say keeping the nigna ba'oin is kalya shmira? So since it was stolen ba'oin, his shmira ended. So therefore, you put it back to him. It's like no different than a stranger and leaving the door open. He shouldn't have, but ain't grum him in a zikin. Ideally, keeping the hadra shmira. Or do we say that once it's brought back? Since he didn't swear, he didn't have yet his din Torah with the mafkid, he resumes his shemitah. Now we said on top of the page that the balabas, Anan Sadi balabas, is happy for him to resume the shemitah if they catch the Ganef. But does that mean that it's that if the balabas didn't give it back to him, it just came back on through the Ganef, is a continuation? Not take. Let's go to the Mishnah. Hey, where's my pekatan? If you go be on the Zoom. Hey, Pigdani, where's my Pagodin? Amallah, he said to him, half the mission we learned already before. Where's my Pagodin? Amallah, he said to him, Avad, I lost it. Mashbiachani, I make you swear, but he said, yes. But he said, what are you talking about? You lost it. It's in your barn. And we saw you that you ate it. We saw that you consumed it, you killed it. So therefore, in that case, Mishalem Keden. You don't pay double because his taina was it was lost. He didn't say it was stolen, it was lost. So you only pay the Keden. You only pay the Keden. If he admitted on his own, the aid never caught him, then he pays, since the problem is the shvua, not so much the contents of the shvua, but the fact you made a vow and then you admitted it was a false shvua, you then have to go ahead and pay the penalties. Is Mishalem Keden, the principal, Chaimish, the 25%, Va'asham, and the guilt offering. Heichen picked on a new case. Where is my object I gave you to mind? Amalei nigdim was stolen. Maz bi'echani, I make it swear. But Amen, he says yes. But Eidim come along and say yes, it was stolen. And you stole it. In other words, this time he was a Toyin Tainas Ganef. He claimed it was stolen by a third party. It turned out to be that he himself was the Ganef. Then Mishalem Tashlum Kefil. He's the one who has to pay double. What happens if he first admitted it? Even if he came afterwards, since he was Maida, he doesn't pay the double, but he does pay the penalties for a false vow. Mishalem Keren Chaimish Va'ashim. That's the first half of the mission. Second half, if somebody steals from his father, and he swore that that it never happened, the mace, and then his father died, and after his father died, he was maida. So he has to pay the penalty. He was maida that he swore false. Areza Misham Keren, the Chemish, he pays the Keren, the principal, the Chemish and the penalty, and the Asham. Who's he pay it to? He's one of the children, he's one of the heirs. Who does it pay it to? So it says here that he pays it to Lebanov. He pays it to the children of the person who died, which means his brothers. It's a funny way of saying his siblings. He pays his siblings. In other words, he doesn't get to keep his portion of the. In order to do tshuva, he has to pay the whole thing out. So he gives it to his brothers. And they collect. Or to the brothers of his father, his uncles. Let's say he has no brother, no sibling, he's the only one. He can't keep the money, so I'm the heir. I would have paid to my father to come to me, but the fact is you have to pay it out. And your father passed away, and the penalties. And therefore you give it to the uncles, to them. The im einu reitze, let's say he doesn't want to. Let's say he's a poor man. This person who did this, who swore false and admitted was a very poor man, and he doesn't want to lose his portion. He wants to get back at least, let's say the two brothers get back a third of the penalty that he has to make, or all the penalty if he's the only heir. He wants to get back something. So then what happened? This is the scheme that we say that he can do. On the one hand, he has to pay it all out. On the other hand, he wants back some of that money because he needs it. He's desperate. So how does he get it back? It's like this: Loive. He borrows from somebody the money that he needs to pay for that that penalty to fulfill the mitzvah of hashava, and he gives them security a piece of property, and then the lenders who lend to the money say he said from this property get paid. They go to the brothers and say, hey, we got to get paid back, and they take back the property, the value of the loan that they gave him. And how much do they take back? They take back his portion. They take back his portion that he's allotted, let's say a third, and they give it back. They give it back to him, and add other 2/3. That eventually has to pay them. If he needs the money desperate right now, so this is what he does: he borrows money and he secures against the property. He gives the property to the and he borrows against the property, and then that property. He gives that property to the brothers and say, here, here's the equal to the fifth, whatever it is, and then he takes the Baal Chayiv, then collects at least the third of his portion. They say, well, that's his portion, and therefore they can collect that money, and that's how he got a third of his money, and the 2/3 that he borrowed, which obviously he has the money, he has to pay back to them eventually, or he gives them right back. That's 2/3 of the money that he still has. What happens if a person says to his son, I ban you, I don't want you to have any benefit for any of my book possessions. If that person dies, If that person dies, okay, while the person's alive, you can't have any benefit. When the person's dead, you're there, you collected. Because, but what he clearly said, the father said, I don't want you to have anything to do with my property, with my assets, not while I'm alive and not after I'm dead. I don't want you to have a chelik in it. If the guy dies, lo yishenu. You cannot yashin because the guy made a neder, you can't. The yachzir lebana when it goes all to the siblings. But let's say he's desperate and he needs to have a chelik of those assets, but his father clearly wrote him out of the will. So what he does is the same cheshbon. Loive, he borrows money and he uses that money to live on. And the Balochoiv boyim in Ephraim, and the Balochoiv then go to the brothers and collect this brother's share. They can collect from the brothers, but this is remote. It's not directly from the father. They're taking it from the brothers. So there's a middle step between the father and ultimately ending up with the brother that he interdicted against. So therefore, the Balchayiv can go to the middle ones and the brothers and take whatever the loan was that they gave to him. That's how he gets around this particular neder hadith, written out of a will.